Alrighty, back again following up on Mr. Darko's series. This third article on the list of 25 is from the United Nations Information Centers. UNIC Moscow participates at the open meeting of the Year of Safe Internet in the Russian Federation Organizing Committee. Their director, Alexander Gorilich, attended an open meeting of the Organizing Committee of the Year of Safe Internet in Russian Federation on the 25th of August 2009. The event was devoted to taking stock of the progress accomplished in the first 6 months of the committee's activities and exploring avenues for further action. The meeting was held under the chairmanship of the Deputy Minister of Telecommunications and Mass Communications, Mr. Alexei Soldatov. He testified to the government's awareness of the subject's importance, and it was also attended by a number of leading members of the ICT community, experts, officials from the Ministry of Internal Affairs, and other institutions. The body was up and running and had successfully implemented a wide range of communications, advocacy, and educational activities. Panelists reviewed children's online behavior, cases of harmful and illegal content, cyberbullying, and stressed threats must be addressed by all actors, including policymakers, regulators, parents, and educators, as well as the industry. In his brief comments, the UNIC director stressed the United Nations' interest toward the protection of the children in the cyberspace. Among other things, he also reminded the audience of the guidelines on child online protection to be presented at ITU Telecom World 5 through 9 in October in Geneva, and invited the committee to consider how best to publicize the original Russian experience at the global gathering. The plan also highlighted educational issues, the train the trainer programs, and emphasis on positive content, including all Russian contests that may become an annual endeavor, advocacy activities targeting media and public at large, a number of studies, and finally a concluding conference of the year in February 2010, which now is coming up. The unique participation in the session was useful in terms of promoting the UN system's views on a very topical issue. UNIC Moscow's links with the organizing committee were then rather strong, which enabled Center not only to follow activities of the ICT community, but also to raise awareness of the international agenda and to stress the importance of collabo with UN agencies. This, like many other articles and many other ways that they're going to trick you into wanting this, has a lot to do with the child porn initiative. If they make you feel that your children are in danger, you know you'll go for anything. That's what they tried with the vaccinations. That's what they've tried with everything. In eventuality, it all comes down to your children, and they know that that's the last string they can pull. I'm going to continue on here with the next article. Alrighty, here's the next one. A Microsoft executive says that the internet is still not safe enough. Microsoft's operating systems are still vulnerable to attacks, but more often than not, it's older versions that are taking the big hits. That was the message from Scott Charney, Corporate Vice President in Microsoft's Trustworthy Computing Group, when he sat down with me on Tuesday by Ina Fried. We chatted about the latest threats, including Conficker, the much maligned Windows Vista he noted wasn't hit in the way that older versions of the operating system were. Some of these widespread exploits take advantage of older platforms, Charney said in an interview following his keynote speech at the RSA 2009 conference. With Windows 7, Microsoft is trying to take security into a few more areas, such as extending encryption to removable devices. That would be USB ports, your little SD card adapters that you get when you buy your phone, shit like that. He also noted that as a whole, the internet still should be safer than it is. There's still a sense that it's not safe enough, Charney said. It was not built for the uses that we currently use it for, all these commercial transactions. One of the answers, he said, is adding more security features into the PC hardware itself. So starting from the beginning. So they're going to start trying to bug you from your startup screen, your desktop. You don't even have to be online. In a nutshell, software is malleable and hardware is harder to tamper with, he said. For my complete interview with Charney, check out the video below. This is InfoWars. This is the fourth from the bottom. I'm not going to play it. You can go ahead and play it for yourself. But that's the short and skinny of that one. That they want they want to put it in the base systems. When you buy your computer, they want it to already be set in. Their little forms of security and safety and control. They also want their new software to be, Microsoft 7 or Windows 8, Windows 9, whatever's coming out next, Windows shitstorm, whatever they want to call it. It's going to have tighter restrictions on it for you. Alrighty, we're back again. This one is the fifth from the bottom on Infowars.com under the link. DoD is to start. The Department of Defense is going to start using Web 2.0. Many young Americans take the internet for granted, even as a social networking sites such as MySpace and Facebook reshape the way young people think and act. The great diversity of Web 2.0, where the user controls and shares all kinds of info online, is also influencing the way businesses and institutions work, and now the Defense Department. That was the main topic of a conference organized by the Infotechnology American Association and held earlier this week in Arlington, Virginia, not far from the Pentagon. Members of the government, military, industry, and academia discussed how the U.S. military and other government organizations can apply MySpace, Wikipedia, Craigslist, and other e-resources in ways that improve national security. Robert Carey, Chief Information Officer of the Department of the Navy, said that the ability to put information out in a public place and use many brains to make a fast decision is made easier with Web 2.0, the trend toward more information sharing and networking. Our collaboration, our bringing multiple brains to task on a product is really powerful. Do we do that? Not as well as we could. Are we heading there? The answer is yes, Carey said. Phil Bond, President and CEO of the Infotechnology American Association, said the young Americans now being recruited by the military have grown up using these tools, and when those same young men and women are up against a foe, they will want to use any resource available at their fingertips. In fact, many of them are sharing information with ad hoc social networks or posting videos on military.com from the very battlefront. I think it's safe to say, not only for the society, but for our national defense infrastructure, that Web 2.0 or even the later 3.0 is here to stay, Bond said. One of the issues debated was how the military can get help from industry to help streamline the contracting. The concern is that delays in acquiring new software could render technology obsolete by the time it's adapted by the DoD for its uses. Michael Nelson, visiting professor of Internet Studies at Georgetown, said technology is moving faster and faster and organizations are not keeping up. The world is changing and we have to start changing organizations and building a new framework for using that technology. Using the enormous capability of the Internet and Web 2.0 could help the country respond quickly to future terrorist attacks, or even prevent them. The 9/11 Commission report outlined the lack of coordination between different government authorities in the sharing of secure information and in assessing vulnerabilities and handling problems of protection and preparedness. This one, they're saying that they want to be able to probe into your everything else's, your MySpace, your Facebook. They want to look at your YouTube account, which they're already doing, but they want to make it official so they're not in trouble for it and they can just tell us that they're doing it. This is their way of slightly introducing that to you by talking about how they're going to do it with this Web 2.0. They make it almost like, oh, we're just telling you how great Web 2.0 is, when really they're getting us used to the idea. I wonder if I can fit another one in. Yeah, I'll be able to fit this one in because A, I've already kind of covered this, and B, it's a little bit of a shorter one. This one, ISPs to record all emails and calls. Internet service providers are to keep records of emails and online phone calls under controversial new government regulations that come into force today. That was April 6th, 2009. The regulations are contained in an EC directive on data retention that already applies to telecom providers. Knowing when someone sent an email or made an IP telephony call and knowing who they emailed or called is very revealing info. These regulations potentially put that info in the hands of a wide range of public bodies, a lawyer specializing in communication at Baker & McKenzie said. Shami Chakrabarti, the director of Liberty, said this was nowhere near as disproportionate and terrifying as government plans for a central database of communications info, which she believes poses a greater long-term threat. And she's absolutely right, Miss Chakrabarti. You are correct. It is a big problem, and it's only going to get worse.